Corporations are people, so much so that if you steal from them, you go to jail. And yet, if you steal from workers, you do not go to jail.
Boss Watch is a segment that we do every week where we talk about what bosses were up to in the South and the U.S. because you're all the time seeing mugshots on the news about somebody engaging in petty theft or trespassing, but you never see when bosses do it. So we want to make sure that you do here at the very least. Over in Kentucky, less than 6 months after an investigation found 3 Kentucky fast food franchises employing more than 300 children outside of federally allowed hours, the U.S. Department of Labor has discovered another Louisville restaurant enterprise violating child labor laws, this time with 55 children at 9 locations across the state of Kentucky. Investigators from the department's Wage and Hour Division determined Cock-a-Doodle-Doo LLC, operating as Rooster's Wings, employed 14 and 15-year-olds beyond what is legally allowed at 9 of its locations across Kentucky. The agency found these 55 employees working past 7 p.m. from the day after Labor Day through May 31st and past 9 p.m. from June the 1st through Labor Day, and more than 8 hours on a non-school day and more than 18 hours during a school week. The agency assessed $43,000 in penalties for Cock-a-Doodle-Doo to address the child labor violations, but that's not all. In addition to the child labor violations, the employer failed to combine the hours when employees worked across multiple locations within the same work week. By doing so, the company paid straight time rates to the employees for all hours worked instead of the time and a half rate due for hours worked over 40 as the law requires. The agency recovered a staggering $182,000 in back wages and liquidated damages for 7 workers to account for these violations. Split $200,000 between 7 folks. I'm going to be pretty happy about that. Although it's money that was owed to me already, that was stolen from me, but they're not going to go to jail. They just got to give me my money back. Over in Mississippi, Olin Corporation, one of the world's leading small arms and ammunition makers, has entered into an agreement with the U.S. Department of Labor in which the employer will pay $630,000 in back wages and interest to resolve alleged hiring discrimination against 286 black and women applicants who applied for positions over 2 years at its Oxford facility. A routine compliance investigation of Olin Corporation by the department's Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs alleged that from December the 9th, 2017 through December the 9th, 2019, the federal contractor violated Executive Order 11246 when hiring for Adjuster 2 positions. The order prohibits federal contractors from discriminating in employment based on race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or national origin. Olin Corporation entered into an early resolution conciliation agreement and agreed to take steps to make sure its selection process, personnel practices, and hiring policies are free from discrimination. The employer will also offer jobs to 46 black and female affected applicants as positions become available. Over in Alabama, and here's something that I wanted to point out because these people actually did go to jail, but not for the reason you might think. The chief financial officer for a Shelby County agency is accused of stealing nearly $200,000 to fund cosmetic surgery, a Florida vacation, and more. This is from AL.com. Cindy Massey, 65, of Pell City, served as CFO for the ARC of Shelby County, an advocacy agency for child and adults with developmental disabilities. Massey was booked into the Shelby County Jail this week on a theft of property charge and released the same day after posting a $30,000 bond. From May the 1st, 2022 through August the 15th, 2023, Massey and her 36-year-old daughter, Jennifer Massey, each used company credit cards to make hundreds of purchases in St. Clair, Shelby, and Jefferson County, as well as over the internet in Florida and in Florida, records state. These purchases included rent on a personal residence, car payments, car repairs, veterinary services, at least one Florida vacation, cosmetic surgery procedures, inmate phone credits at the Shelby County Jail, and internet purchases delivered to Pelham. Massey then used her position as CFO to use ARC's funds to pay the credit bills, according to the complaint. Jennifer Massey is also charged with theft of property, but has not yet been taken into custody. She is also charged with probation violation for a previous identity theft conviction.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
And here's the thing. I talked about they went to jail, or one of them has been to jail, released on a $30,000 bond. The other is going to be arrested soon, presumably. But that's because they stole from a corporation. Because corporations are people, so much so that if you steal from them, you go to jail. And yet, if you steal from workers in the form of not paying us our legally due wages, you do not go to jail. You get a slap on the wrist at best. The most you can expect to happen to you is that you have to give me back what you stole from me. That's it, right? That's like the height of restitution that workers can expect. And yet corporations are so much so people that if you steal from them, even as an executive officer of said corporation, you'll go to jail. It is just such an indictment of society that in many ways corporations are viewed as more of a person than the workers they employ. Pretty sick stuff. The last story is in Texas, where 2 employees of a national tank cleaning company suffered injuries when exposed to hydrogen sulfide, a flammable, highly toxic, colorless gas that was present during the cleaning process of a tanker truck on April 25, 2023 in Beaumont, Texas. 2 municipal firefighters responding to the scene also suffered injuries from the gas. Federal investigators determined that the employer, Trimac Transportation Incorporated, which operates as National Tank Services, did not provide adequate respiratory protection, resulting in 2 employees being transported to the hospital, one of them being hospitalized due to the exposure. The first responders were treated on the scene. Investigators with the U.S. Department of Labor's Occupational Safety and Health Administration found National Tank Services did not evaluate the work site for possible respiratory hazards like the one that sickened the workers, and did not monitor the employees for exposure to other substances. The company also failed to provide workers with appropriate respirators, manage a required respiratory protection program to provide workers with medical evaluations prior to respirator use, and failed to conduct respiratory fit testing. OSHA proposed penalties of about $400,000 to the company after citing 9 health violations, including 2 willful, 3 repeat, and 4 serious. Investigators also found National Tank Services again failed to provide protective clothing, eye, face, and hand protection, did not label containers, and failed to provide injury and illness logs to OSHA within 4 business hours. Violations previously cited in the past 5 years at their facilities in Georgia, Louisiana, and Texas. Workers were also exposed to fall hazards because the company failed to install mid-rails on the stairway and on the catwalk platform guardrail system. A subsidiary of Trimark Transportation of Canada, National Tank Services operates 30 maintenance and tank cleaning operations across North America. The company has 15 business days from receipt of citations and penalties to comply, to request an informal conference with OSHA's area director, or to contest the findings before the Independent Occupational Safety and Health Review Commission.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.